Leicester 3, Man United 1. Shocking performance today. Got what we deserved. It should have been worse. Could have been worse. Poor. Everyone was poor, pretty much. I don't think anyone was really that great. Solskjaer tactically, Solskjaer in terms of changing it, inept today. And we've bottled it again in another cup competition.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse for the performance today. I understand why he kind of wanted to shuffle the pack because tired legs, playing a lot of football and we complain about lack of rotation. But honestly, out of all the matches to do it, I just didn't see why this one was the right one to do. I feel like the FA Cup's a really important competition. We got a good draw being in Southampton, and I know we didn't know that until obviously half time, but we could have easily got to the final today. But you could tell with the players that played, they hadn't played in a while. There was lack of chemistry. There seemed to be just so much sloppiness all over the pitch. And do you know what it is with the team? And it does have to come down to coaching. Is there's so much sloppiness on the basic things like passing, basics, first touch, basics, positional sense, basics. I feel like all the basics is what we do so poorly, and that's what sets us back in so many ways. Just silly decisions like off that set piece when it's a crucial point in the game. How have you not got everyone covered? When you're under pressure in the box, why are you passing out to Fred? Obviously, I still think it was Fred's fault. Like, he was so sloppy all game. But the thing is, he was allowed to get away with it because we all knew that Ollie wasn't going to sub him. And I think everybody else did because we just know there's not going to be any change. And that's the problem. I feel like Ollie doesn't use subs to change a game very well, and it keeps happening. And I just knew after the second goal that it was probably going to be downhill from there.
It was, and the thing is, you'll get people saying, like I was saying to me online, yeah, well, he made 4 subs at once. Yeah, cool. Well, he done that in the 60th minute. Even that was too late because you could see at half time how it was going to go. The minimum that should have happened at half time was a change in shape. The diamond was not working. You could see that there was holes all over our midfield. The forwards couldn't get the ball. So that's the bare minimum. And then when he does make 4 changes, Fred's still on the pitch. Donny comes off. Don't understand that. Then McTominay comes on. Look what he done when he come on. Give away the free kick. Then lost Iheanacho for the goal. Like, it's just a whole calamity of errors for me today.
Yeah, completely. The diamond wasn't working. Martial was so isolated. He was against 3 centre-halves. And again, I don't think he was making enough runs. I don't think he was making the right passes around the box. But you've still got to accept the fact he was isolated in the front three. How are you supposed to expect him to do anything when he's barely getting any service and he's in the box against 3 centre-halves with no one else with him? And then the diamond, obviously, I mean, I think we know what our worst midfield pairing is, don't we? Matic and Fred. It was absolutely awful today. And I saw people actually saying they thought Matic played well. How can you think Matic played well? It was constant, side to side, slowing the game down and losing the ball. For that goal, when he just kind of goes in and then pulls out and gets ram pass and everyone just backs off. How can you do that in an elite team when you're in the FA Cup quarter-final trying to get through to semi-final? How is every player going to back off? I just think there's so many errors everywhere on the pitch. And even when we made them changes today, I thought, for me personally, I would have dropped Donny into Fred's role, because honestly, I don't think he could have done any worse. Like, people saying you can't play a 10 in the 8. He's played there for us before. Matic, we know, can play the CDM role on his own because he's more of a sweeper anyway. And we've seen Donny play that role well, and he can go into tackles well. He can hold his position well if he's told to do so, and bring Bruno into the 10 role. It keeps ball retention, it keeps stability, and you've got places to go to. But then when he finally did, just bring McFred on. It's just the same thing, and we know McFred isn't good enough. And when it comes on, it just doesn't fill you with excitement. You don't think you're going to go and get a goal, because when we've been playing McFred for the last so games, yes, we've kept clean sheets, but I feel like we've only scored a few goals and only won by 1 goal. For example, at the AC Milan game, that was kind of just hold on and score.
That was the only chance. The Pogba thing was the only real chance of the game.
Exactly. So I don't understand. Obviously, Shaw for Telles is a straight swap, even though I think Telles played all right. Shaw's just different level at the moment, so I understand that change.
Yeah, same.
But bringing McTominay and Fred onto the pitch, what is that going to give? What goals is that going to give you? I just didn't understand it, and it's just so safe and samey, his substitutions. And they don't make sense to me. He'll never go out and change something. He'll never just try and drop Donny into the 6th role, because genuinely, I think if he would have dropped down to there, we would have been able to keep so much more possession. Him and Bruno could have had a link-up play. I don't know if Pogba needed to come off because of...
Probably
injury.
Was that, to be fair. Probably was
whatever,
that. He probably couldn't have lasted, yeah.
It's just, for me, it was too many changes. And then when he did actually make the changes, they didn't make sense to me in how you'd get a goal. And I thought it was too late. I think changes needed
he come on, look how late. Look how, yeah, 100%. And look at when he finally does take Fred off in like the 80th minute and brings Ahmad on. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just couldn't.
Why are you throwing him into that?
Couldn't work out. Just couldn't work out.
What is he going to do in 6 minutes or 8 minutes? If you don't trust him to come on at half time or come on with the other substitutions, why are you throwing him on at the 86th minute when we've got to score 2 goals? It looks like there's no game plan. He's not worked out what he's doing. He's just kind of thought, oh, we'll bring Ahmad on now. No, a proper coach needs to be saying, this is what's going wrong. This is how we're going to fix it. And this is how we're going to do it throughout this half. But you just don't see that. On the sidelines, like, obviously this is just, we don't know what's going on, but you're just looking, it just looks so clueless when that goal goes in. And another thing that I just don't like about how we play at the moment is we'll keep the same, even if it's bad, we'll keep up the same pace, the same tempo, even if we're not playing very well. And then as soon as the other team scores a goal, that's when our style of play changes and you see us go more into the front foot. Why aren't we doing that from the start? Why does it take a goal for you to change the way we're playing? Sitting deep and just waiting for them to come on to you. And then when you concede, that's when you decide you want to go and score a goal. That's not the way that we should be. We've got the quality of players that can go at them. But the reason why we can't do it half the time is because we've got no ball retention. The passing is sloppy. The tempo is too slow. And I think people's positional play is off as well. Tellers was out of position so many times today. Martial was constantly coming over to left to try and get the ball. He needs to be in the box. And I don't even know what kind of role Donny was playing. He was either too far forward making the run that no one was ever going to reach him to, or he was too deep, so there was nothing between the midfield. It was just, I just thought it was shambolic, and there was just no there was no tactical, I could see no tactical presence in our game at all. I thought Leicester outplayed us massively, and I think their midfield is 1,000,000% better than ours. And they say that the game's won and lost in the midfield, and I think it definitely was today.
Absolutely, and just you talk about the manner. You can lose a game. You can lose any game. You don't have a divine right to win any game, but the manner of the performance and the manner of the goals that we conceded today, and just the manner of the generic performance. You look at what Brendan Rodgers is doing with those players. What I see is a far better manager, better coach. Who has a clear system, a clear way of playing. All his play. He's got Albrighton playing right wing back. Albrighton. And getting a tune out of these players. And that's no disrespect to Albrighton, he's a Premier League winner. But what I'm saying is it just shows you that the caliber of players he can work with to just ooze every bit of talent out of them. The only difference between them.
How much Tielemans he was already a good player, but how much has improved with Brendan Rodgers, Fofana?
Exactly.
That's Sunku as well. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah,
he was ridiculous today. And it's not a coincidence that Leicester somehow scout all these players. They get the players and they're already good, but Brendan Rodgers' coaching, man management, and tactical ability clearly is better than all these. They're similar positions to us in the league, and they seem like they play better football. And on paper, they have a less quality, I don't know how to put it. On paper, we probably would say we had better players than them, but I actually look at them and I don't think we do. In a lot of areas, obviously we've got the star players, but for example, Tielemans and Didier, Maddison. I know Maddison didn't play today, but in the midfield,
thank God he didn't play.
That's better than our midfield. But it's just the same thing. It's like every time there's a quarter final, we could have got through to semi final and got through to final.
It's another bottling, isn't it?
It's a bottle job. I don't know what he was thinking. Honestly, changing the team that dramatically today, I completely, honestly, don't understand it, because to me, it kind of seemed like they were treating it as if it wasn't a big game. Because surely, if it was a big game, you'd put out your strongest 11 like you have done, even against the Sheffield Uniteds. No offense to them, because they beat us in the league, and against poor oppositions in the league, we put out our best team and don't rotate. We're in a cup competition where we could get a trophy. We've got a really good draw in the next round. You've just come off the back of a good Europa League win, and you've gone through on that. Why are you rotating it now and changing the momentum? And
And that's
I
just it,
just,
isn't
I
it? We
didn't
don't
understand
have what
it.
it
I
takes.
honestly did not understand it.
No. We don't
I thought
have
there's so
that
many
level.
errors as well. McTominay on the back post, horrendous defending. Matic and Fred, both of them were awful in the midfield. And then I even think today we saw glimpses of the old defence. We were just saying last week that the defence had improved so much, but again, Maguire and Lindelof I thought looked sloppy, especially in the second half.
It's always in there, isn't it? This is why we always come back to that.
It just seems like they can have a good run of games, but there's always them errors. And there's always now around the club a feeling of bottling big games. And it's just, I don't know if we're going to be able to get over this mentality that's kind of there, that we do lose in quarters and semi-finals. We've not won a trophy in 4 years. I hope it can change with the Europa League, but a lot's resting on that now. And I feel like if Ollie doesn't win that, it's just kind of proof why you're offering a contract this early, because we've got the players that can win that competition. If we don't win that competition, there's generally now, especially now we're not in the FA Cup, there's no excuses.
International break, 2 weeks off. Hopefully, we don't get players coming back with more injuries than we started, and we have to go again.
I know, and you see, what was I going to say now? You see Darren Fletcher, the technical director, in the stands. I was literally just thinking, surely he's thinking we need a CDM in the summer. Surely you've got to get a CDM now. But yeah, move on to the next game and hopefully it can change. But the style of play just isn't there for me.
Yeah, all right. We'll probably see tomorrow, actually, for the Sunday show. That's on Monday.
Sunday show on Monday.
Yeah, all right, cool.